Hey guys, how's it going? So it's been a little while since I've hung out with you guys and we have hit full-on spring here in New Jersey. I live in zone 6A and things are just starting to green up, leaf out, and flower here. Now some of you guys know that I moved. We moved right before the holidays, huge move, and I left all of my gardens from where we used to be for a beautiful 10-acre property with expansive gardens, most of them formal. And I'm adding a new cottage/cut flower garden, which I'm pretty excited about. I've already started working on it. There's so much to show you guys. I'm going to show you the ponds. I'm going to show you some tree sculptures. I'm going to show you what's blooming in my garden today. And I'm really super excited for spring. I don't know everything that's going to come up here. I know there's a lot of stuff. So it's really exciting to come out here every day and just see like what's breaking ground and what's here, because I don't even know what's here. We saw the house in the fall, and so we've never seen it in spring, so it's going to be amazing. I think it's going to be epic. So anyway, with that, let's take a walk around some of the gardens. I'll show you what's going on, see what's blooming today. I did start cleaning up this ivy. I'm not gonna lie, it's a lot of work to clean up the ivy. Never had ivy this aggressive before, but it's growing all over everything, and so I've really had to spend some time taming it, but it's given me a good reason to be outside and get some garden work done. It was all over that viburnum, and I just didn't want it taking over the whole bed before everything started to leaf out. Then as we walk away from front porch area, I have actually two front porches, one that's covered and one that isn't. There's some daffodils in bloom over here. They actually just started a few days ago. And then I've got these really pretty crocuses. They've just been planted kind of randomly, like see, those are already done. But it was really fun to see them come up, and I'm curious to see what else comes up in this bed. I know that there's some alliums in here, and I believe some black-eyed Susans. So that's going to be really interesting. You know, it's really fun to kind of watch what is coming up here right now in spring. Here we've got a sedum autumn joy. It was probably 5 times this size, and I split it and divided it. I moved some of it over here to this side just to balance out the front porch. And then, you know, I see we've got some heuchera back there. I'm not sure why it's planted back there because you really can't see it. I'll probably dig that out and move it. We've got some bugleweed over here. Not really a fan of it. I'm sure I'm gonna dig it out and move it, but it's not high on my priority list just yet. Also in this bed is some vinca. It seems to have taken over. I'm gonna give this bed like the season just to see what it does before I do anything with it, because I don't really know what's here. I don't really know what it's gonna do. And even though I'm not a fan of all that vinca, I mean, it looks pretty right now, but I'll probably wind up changing it over time. Also in this bed, and not that it's looking like anything tremendous right now, but this is a buckeye tree, and we just thought it was the coolest thing because my daughter goes to Ohio State, and it was like a sign when we bought the house, you know? There was a buckeye tree on the property, and we didn't have one at our old house, and I just kind of thought that was cool. Next up for blooms in my yard are these beautiful hellebores. There's a few different varieties here on the property. I did not have this many. I had actually one variety at my old house, so it's really fun to see the Lenten rose bloom because it's one of the first blooms of the season, and there's so many here. This is just one patch, but aren't they, it's really just beautiful, right? Look at this. Gotta get a close-up of it. Look at the details on that. It's so pretty. They'd make a great cut flower, and I may actually cut some of these with some of those daffodils. And because I'm starting to empty out things in the garage and just place them around, I don't know if this is the final resting place for it, but this is some garden decor from Linda Vatter's line from QVC. I love it. It looks beautiful among flowering plants. And since this is what I have blooming right now, I put it over here. So one of the first things to bloom here has been these gorgeous daffodils. They're situated just outside my husband's office, and they have this river rock mulch, which may be why they bloomed a little earlier than some of the others. The ground was probably a lot warmer here, but they look beautiful, and it's just like a cheerful spot when you walk out the door and head into his office. I see that I've also got a hydrangea. We'll have to see what variety it is when it comes up. I know there's a few peonies in here. I do want to plant some knockout roses over there, and I know I see some Siberian irises, and I know there's viburnum here. And I don't know if you guys remember from my first garden tour that I took you on, but there used to be like a branch statue there. It was awful. I mean, I'll actually add a little card here on the screen so you can see what it looked like before, but it was not attractive. It was a big black ugly branch, and like the former owners were very into like their statues, and they had a lot of unique items here. It just wasn't my thing, so I did take it down. I've got daffodils, I've got tulips, I've got, I know I have some alliums, some Globemaster alliums, and I think I even have some anemones. I just have to see what comes up and blooms because I don't remember exactly what what I planted where, although I do know I've got my tulips, and I put some daffodils along the front, and we'll just kind of see where everything pops up. Seriously, we just threw them in the ground when we got here because it was going to freeze, and it was like literally right before Christmas, and I just kind of wanted to get them done. But in my neck of the woods, we have deer. Deer are a real problem. So I spray my tulips with repellent as soon as they break ground. And actually, I'm probably going to spray them again now that they're getting a little bit bigger. And then I'll spray them again when they're like a little bit taller. And then when they get their flower head on it, I'll spray it once again. And probably as they bloom, I'll spray them one last time. Might be a little overkill, but it does keep the deer from eating the tulips, and it works for me. And then that's the pathway to the side yard where the formal garden is. We'll head over there a little bit later, but first I want to show you guys this garden right here because there has to be hundreds of daffodils here. See, even the dogs are excited about it. Look at them, and they're all just about to bloom. Isn't that going to be so pretty? Here's also some of the sedums that I dug up and divided. You see some other sedums popping up. I know there's Nepeta here, and I did see some Coreopsis coming up. We've got some spireas, some butterfly bushes, and I just can't really wait to see what else pops up. It's going to be so fun. Let me take you down into what we call right now the basketball garden, although it's not really a basketball garden. It's a basketball court that we're going to remove the basketball, and we're going to make a potager garden. And I'm going to move my outdoor dining furniture out here. I've already started. Probably going to eventually put an outdoor kitchen out here. So the reason we're going to remove the basketball hoop and make this more of a dining area is because we really don't have a large space on the deck in the backyard to put our dining table, and we do have a pool. There isn't really a whole lot of space around there for a pool and lounge furniture. I'd rather have the lounge furniture there personally, so the dining furniture is going to go out here. I'm thinking about putting a couple of raised planters here, and growing some vegetables in here. I'm pretty sure we get some full sun. And then we're going to do the dining area over here. Right now we're putting our grill over here. I know we're going to add a bunch of string lights and stuff. It's going to be really pretty. Right now we just threw the chairs out here, and we're not even sitting out here. But now I know there's a bunch of boxwoods here. Some of them don't look so good. There's some pachysandra. We have a holly. I know that we have a honeysuckle there. There's a honeysuckle over here. Sorry about that. And then let me take you down by the pond. We are having it cleaned out this week. We have two ponds, and it's time to actually clean them both out. They've got nets on them with a lot of leaves on them. But the cool thing about the pond right now, not that it looks all that great, but it's got a ton of frogs. And they've been singing this sweet song. Look, there they are. Look at that. Look at that. They're all in there. And yesterday, I had to have seen there had to be at least 50 just in this area. It was so cool. And if you listen, you can hear the frogs. Isn't that so cool? are some plantings here. I'm not totally sure what's here. I do see some daffodils. I know there are some spireas, and I know there's some sedums. Daffodils, did I mention daffodils? Lots of stuff. I can't wait to see what's really here though, and everything's starting to peek through the ground now. So hopefully by next month, we'll be able to share a little more about what's here. So I have showed you guys before some of the tree sculptures that are here. This is one of them. It is not one of my favorites. It kind of takes away from the garden vibe of the house. You guys hear the frogs? Anyway, we have decided we are going to make a walking path, like a little hiking path on the property, because we have 10 acres here and a lot of it's wooded. So I think we're going to take some of these tree sculptures and just relocate them there so that, you know, we can still maintain the art, but it isn't in the same location where I feel like it's distracting from the gardens. So I really do appreciate the artistry on them. Really cool. I'll show you some of the other ones. Some of them we're going to leave where they are, but that one I really would like to move. And then do you guys remember how I showed you this bed was covered in liriope? It's a drainage pipe. Pool's on the other side of the fence. This whole bed was covered in liriope. We spent quite a bit of time getting it out. There are some roses here. There are some peonies here. I think there's some Siberian irises. I did see some bearded irises, and I did throw in a few sedum autumn joys. This whole bed is going to be my feeder garden for the rest of the property, as well as my cut flower garden. Most of this area is going to get full sun, which is perfect. I already started some seeds indoors. I've got some sweet peas going. My snapdragons just sprouted, and I'm waiting on my larkspur before I start planting the next set. But this is going to be a beautiful garden, and I cannot even wait to get out here and start planting it. All right, so let's take a walk to the backyard. Actually, I'll take you to the formal garden first in the side yard because I love that garden. It's so pretty. So we have a little patio area here. We did move our outdoor fire pit set here. It's covered right now because we're not sitting on it and there's cushions. But we have sat out here a few times already because the sun does set out here, which is just beautiful. And I'm sure when all of the trees leaf out, you know, you might not see it as much, but it looks so much better since we cut back the Chinese silvergrass, and there is a lot of it here. I think it's invasive in my neck of the woods, so eventually I'm planning on digging it out. But, you know, it just looks so pretty. We've got some Russian sage still here. Love Russian sage. Another deer-resistant plant. Got some daffodils coming up along the boxwoods. There's another tree sculpture. It's kind of interesting, right? It's actually another tree sculpture out there. That is a rope. I don't know if you can see it. But I do want to put some roses around that and plant some boxwoods around them. Make it a little more formal. Right now there's nothing planted there. And this garden really just like sold me on the house. Like, I love this. And it's beautiful, right? Like, weddings can happen here. I have 3 daughters, and my husband and I are trying to convince them that when they're ready to get married, they got to do it here. So it's got these beautiful statues and this gorgeous gazebo. There's some honeysuckle planted around it. Not sure how much sun this spot gets. We'll have to see because there's really a lot of trees. So we'll just we'll see how things do. But I did see that they did plant some honeysuckle, so we'll see how they do. Another statue. And then that's a formal garden. There's some daffodils out in the back there, which is really kind of nice. I'll do more with these beds over time, but right now I think I'm really just gonna keep them clean and tidy. And then that's the end of our property line. I think eventually we're gonna put a greenhouse out here. Nice big one. And that's the back corner of the property. And then we actually own some of the woods back up in there. So that's kind of where we'd like to make a walking trail going back there. I mean, seriously, wouldn't this be a great place to have weddings? But I would love to put some twinkle lights up here, maybe do a little romantic dinner here for my husband and I one night. It's just such a beautiful garden. Love the vibe, and I cannot wait to see it evolve over time. All right, so now we'll head into the backyard where I'll just show you a couple things. We have another small pond back there, another cool tree sculpture, and some beautiful hellebores that you've got to see. So before we head into the backyard garden, do need to do some cleanup here. Gotta cut some of these perennials back. But look at these pretty hellebores. I love the color on them. Wish I knew what variety they were. I'll have to look them up. Isn't that so pretty? I love that color. Okay, so this is the backyard. Put some shea lounges over here. Actually, they're going to the pool, but I haven't found anything for this spot. It's an odd shaped deck, so it's kind of hard to find furniture that will fit here. But my husband and I definitely want something where we can just kind of hang out on and enjoy a glass of wine back here. But this is one of the other ponds. It is pretty small. I know we can fit about 2 to 3 koi fish in here. It's not something we're doing just yet, but this is another pond that's getting cleaned up this week. As you can see, it still has the netting on it. It's got all the leaves and stuff, but it protected the pond during late fall when the leaves were all starting to fall in the winter. And there's a little waterfall back there. It's so pretty. I cannot wait to see it all on. But this area is where I'm going to be doing what I'm calling the Zen Garden. I just need a little Buddha statue to put right over there. But I'm gonna put all my houseplants back here. It doesn't get full sun. I'm gonna probably keep most of them along here covered and shaded, but some of them that can take a little bit of light, I'll bring out here. I'm also gonna do some potted flowers. Next year, I'd love to do a bunch of bulbs out here. You know, maybe some tulips and some daffodils and stuff in pots just to get the season going, since there's all this hardscaping with river rock. But really good bones, and I love it. And I love these steps that go up to the backyard. Really beautiful property. The former homeowners did such an amazing job with this property. Like, we love it. Isn't that tree sculpture so cool? That is koi. Like, someone carved that from a tree. I just think that's so neat. And then I know in this garden we've got some Siberian irises. I saw some peonies popping up. We've got a lone crocus over there. I think we've got some black-eyed Susans in here too. Really just gonna have to wait and see what starts blooming. We do have some hellebores over here. They are really pretty also. Look at this. Look at this pretty white one. Again, I'm really gonna have to go and look at the varieties because I don't know what they are because we just moved in. But look at how pretty they are. Isn't that beautiful? I did spend some time out here cleaning them up. I cleaned up all the foliage around them, and they have just exploded from the ground in the last week or so. This is a hemlock. Love the architecture of this plant. Isn't it beautiful? One of the other cool elements that are here in the backyard are these benches that were carved from trees. Aren't they cool? My dog and I were actually sitting out here the other day. Really neat, really cool idea. And we just love all the little unique features that this property has. There's lots of daffodils coming up over here. My husband gave me some roses here. They're not really doing so well, so we're just gonna pass over by those. I'm probably gonna have to cut them and hope they sort of bounce back. I'm gonna cut them back and get rid of the green and just kind of hope they survive. You know, we bought them from like the market, and they've been inside, and I've been slowly working on them to be outside, but we'll see how they do. But here's another hellebore. Isn't that gorgeous? I love the color. They're so pretty. I'm gonna have to dig and divide some of these and move them around to other areas of the yard. This monster, I'm sure, is a wisteria. It's not leafing out just yet, but looks like it's pretty aggressive. And it's really taking over this whole spot. We're gonna have to do some taming, I can see. And I know we've got a birch and some more hellebores back there, some lamb's ear. Got a lot of birds here. And I know we've got some hydrangeas and some Japanese maples. Pretty sure we've got lime lights over here, if I remember correctly. And then some more honeysuckle. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Love that it's spring. New Jersey, you know, we're zone 6A here. Things are just starting to green up now, just starting to leaf out. So I'm sure within like another week or two, everything's gonna look totally different and totally change. And that's it, you guys. Thanks so much for joining me in the garden today. It's such a thrill to come out here every day and see all the new things that are growing, blooming, changing. Spring is such an exciting time of year as it is, and it's even more exciting since I don't know what's here. So I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm Stacy from Bricks and Blooms. Enjoy a beautiful day.